Hello students, this is BBA 407 Strategic Management. I am your instructor Mine Doyran for this course. Today I will talk about Chapter 5, Part 2, Porter's 5 Generic Strategies. According to Porter, strategies allow businesses to gain competitive advantage from three different bases. These are cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. So we will review these three major strategies: cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. Starting with cost leadership, companies using cost leadership emphasize producing standardized products at a very low per unit cost for consumers. And these consumers are price sensitive. Price-sensitive customers are always looking for low prices, and the companies are always looking for lowering per unit cost. Cost leadership is divided into two major categories. The first one is low-cost strategy, and the second one is best value strategy. So let's review each of these strategies. Type 1 is a low-cost strategy that offers products to a wide range of customers at the lowest price available on the market. For instance, Walmart, Target follows low-cost strategies. The major food retail companies such as Walmart and Target use low-cost strategy. Type 2, on the other hand, is a best value strategy that offers products to a wide range of customers at the best price available, at the best price value available on the market. In this strategy, consumers get a good deal what they are paying for. It is pretty much like paying $1,000 rent on a Fifth Avenue two-bedroom apartment. First, firms following Type 2 cost leadership, best value strategies offer customers better value for less money by focusing on low cost and upscale difference at the same time. For instance, Toyota Cars is best value cost strategy. You get a good deal for the quality you're getting as a customer. Uniqlo is another example. For low price, you get upscale difference, such as long-lasting coats that keep you warm during the winter. So therefore, as a summary, if Walmart and Target are described as firms using cost leadership, low-cost strategy, Toyota and Uniqlo are using cost leadership, best value strategy. The second type is differentiation. Type 3 is differentiation strategy, which is aimed at producing unique products and services at higher prices. This is about producing unique products and services at higher prices. This strategy is directed at consumers who are relatively price insensitive. The consumers in this category don't care about prices, they only care about quality. Apple, for instance, is using a differentiation strategy. Expensive sports cars like Ferrari is using a differentiation strategy. Differentiation strategy is a way for a business to distinguish itself from the competition. And the only way for companies to distinguish or to differentiate themselves from competition is to offer very unique products at higher prices than the competitors. Another example for differentiation is the Whole Foods. Whole Foods' top competitors are Trader Joe's, Fresh Market. Whole Food mixes traditional marketing with the content, storytelling, and digital experience of what is known as inbound marketing. So Whole Food uses this marketing strategy known as inbound marketing. With inbound marketing, Whole Food shows shoppers why they buy the food they buy. Shoppers can make a healthy, diverse, and wholesome selection. And the final category is the focus strategy. But there are two types of focus strategy: low cost or cost leadership focus and best value focus strategy. Focus strategy involves producing products and services that fulfill the needs of small groups of consumers. Here we are not talking about mass production or mass market of consumers. We are talking about only a niche group of customers. There are two alternative types of focus strategies. Type 4 is a low-cost focus strategy that offers products or services to a small range or niche group of customers at the lowest price available on the market. Take the example company Claire's. Claire's, for example, seeks to appeal to young women by selling inexpensive jewelry, accessories, and ear piercings. Type 5 is a best value focus strategy that offers products to a small range of customers at the best price value available on the market. This strategy is sometimes called focused differentiation. One example for this strategy is the strategy used by Breeze's Resorts. Breeze's Resorts. Breeze's Resorts is a company that caters to couples without children. And therefore we can say that Breeze's Resorts is using best value focus strategy. Here are the guidelines for cost leadership strategies. These guidelines summarize the conditions under which firms use cost leadership. Please make sure to review these guidelines. And also the guidelines for differentiation strategies, and when the differentiation strategy should be pursued and when it should be avoided. Again, the guidelines for focus strategies, and when is it appropriate to use these guidelines and when is it not appropriate to use these guidelines. Please make sure to review these slides. And in the rest of the slides, I will talk about the means or ways for achieving strategy. One of the means is forming strategic alliances. There are some advantages and disadvantages of forming strategic alliances. For these alliances between competitors to succeed, however, both firms must contribute something distinctive. But a major risk is that unintended transfers of important skills or technology may occur. Information is not covered generally in the formal agreement, and often it gets traded in day-to-day interactions. And firms might give away too much information to their rivals. Although the idea of joining alliances is not easily accepted by American firms, multinational firms are becoming more globally cooperative, and increasing numbers of domestic firms are joining alliances with competitive foreign firms to reap mutual benefits. US companies often enter alliances primarily to avoid large investments. Asian and European firms primarily enter into cooperative agreements to learn from the partner. What type of alliances are we talking about here? The first one is a joint venture. Joint venture is a form of partnering. It is a popular strategy that occurs when two or more companies form a temporary partnership or consortium for the purpose of capitalizing on some opportunity. Other types of cooperative arrangements are research and development partnerships, cross-distribution agreements, cross-licensing agreements, cross-manufacturing agreements, and so forth and so on. Then why are these joint ventures beneficial or good for the companies? Joint ventures and cooperative arrangements are being used increasingly because they allow companies to improve communications and networking, to globalize operations, and to minimize risk and reduce cost of doing business. The second type is mergers and acquisitions. Mergers and acquisitions are two commonly used ways to pursue strategies. A merger occurs when two organizations of about equal size unite to form one enterprise. So when two organizations of about equal size unite to form one enterprise, we call this enterprise a merger. Some examples of mergers are Exxon and Mobil merger, Travels Group and Citicorp merger, Dow Chemical and DuPont merger. An acquisition, on the other hand, occurs when a large organization purchases or acquires a smaller firm or vice versa. So in the case of acquisition, we're not talking about firms of equal size. We're talking about a case when a large organization purchases a smaller firm. The recent example is the acquisition of Whole Foods by Amazon. Examples of mergers we also talk about are Exxon and Mobil merger, Travel Group's Citicorp merger, and Dow Chemical and DuPont merger, which are all different from an acquisition. When a merger or acquisition is not desired by both parties, it can be called a takeover or hostile takeover. Generally, if top management and employees resist merger attempts, that merger can be described as hostile takeover. In contrast, an acquisition that is desired by both firms is termed a friendly merger or friendly acquisition. White knight is a term that refers to a firm that agrees to acquire another firm when the other firm is facing a hostile takeover by some company. Not all mergers are effective and successful. Some key reasons why many mergers and acquisitions fail are summarized in Table 5.5. A leverage buyout occurs when a corporation's shareholders are bought out and hence buyout by the company's management and other private investors using borrowed funds. We call this buyout as a leverage buyout because in LBO acquisitions, investors use large amount of borrowed funds to acquire the firm. That is why we call these acquisitions as leverage buyouts or LBO acquisitions. The final type that we are going to discuss are private equity acquisitions, first mover advantages, and outsourcing. Starting with private equity acquisitions. These type of acquisitions are initiated by private equity firms. We call them investment groups or investment funds. The intent of virtually all private equity acquisitions is to buy firms at a low price and sell them later at a high price. The intent of all private equity acquisitions is to buy firms at a low price and sell them at a higher price. Private equity firms have unleashed a wave of new initial public offerings, like the Blackstone firm. Private equity firms enable to pool investment by a number of investors in equity and equity-related securities of companies. The other type that we will be discussing in this lecture is the first mover advantages. First mover advantages refer to the benefits of a firm may achieve by entering a new market or developing a new product or service prior to rival firms. So when a firm achieves a new market share by developing a new product or service prior to rival firms, this is called being the first mover advantages. For instance, Starbucks has first mover advantages because it was the first firm to innovate a coffee house or coffee chain stores. Apple, Google have all first mover advantages. The firms Apple and Google have all first mover advantages because they were the first companies to develop and introduce a new product to the market. As indicated in Table 5.7, some advantages of being a first mover include securing access to rare resources, gaining new knowledge of key factors and issues, gaining market share and position, establishing and securing long-term relationships, and gaining customer loyalty and commitments. And the final topic that we are discussing is outsourcing. Outsourcing refers to obtaining goods or a service from an outside or foreign supplier, especially in place of an internal source. For instance, Tommy Hilfiger, which is a clothing company, Tommy Hilfiger, outsources labor in low-cost environments like India. Another term that management specialists use is business process outsourcing. Business process outsourcing, BPO. This is a rapidly growing new business that involves companies taking over functional operations for other companies. So when certain companies take over functional operations for other companies or firms, this is known as business process outsourcing. These functional operations to be outsourced are human resources, information systems, and marketing. Over the last decade, outsourcing for US and European firms has involved manufacturing, tech support, and back office work. An ever-growing number of firms today are outsourcing their product design and other research and development activities to Asian developers. Reasons that companies are choosing to outsource are explained in Table 5.7. Most of these reasons include cost savings, cost restructuring, improving quality, sharing knowledge, contracting labor, accessing to talent, enhancing capacity for innovation, risk management, and most importantly, tax benefits. Today we talk about, in part 2, Michael Porter's generic strategies. We also discuss ways and means to pursue strategies. Thank you for listening to my lecture, and next week I will continue my lecture with Chapter 6. Have a good day.